Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Beyond Authentic Health. I'm Lisa.
I'm Rufus.
And we've got another Wednesday weigh-in video for you. So I'm just in the process of getting the chat up on screen. While I'm doing that, Rufus, how was the week, this week just gone? How was that for you on the Slimming World, food optimizing, healthy eating, balanced weight loss? It's not a diet plan.
It's just everyday life, as they say.
I've dropped the mouse. I've dropped the mouse. Oh no!
There's always something happening.
Oh no!
Always.
Chaos! Where's it gone?
But
carry on.
It wouldn't be like
it wouldn't be
the same, is it? If he wasn't in it, dear.
No, I know, right?
No, like I say, I've had a really good week. I've been pretty much on autopilot. Still doing I did have egg yesterday, but I've been having
less eggs.
Less eggs, so not too many eggs and no bananas still. And yeah, I've had a really good week. I've enjoyed everything we've eaten. I've been regular most of the week, so yeah, good all round week, I think.
Yeah.
It's been like, is it nearly 7 months now? Is it? So yeah, I'm a pro at it now.
I think we're officially in week 20. I've got our book, so I'll add them up in a second.
Yeah.
I think we're officially at week 29 on the doodah.
Yeah.
What? They need to confirm it's really me. It is really me. Oh, it's the VPN's not on, I hope. Let me just double check. Right. For some reason, it doesn't like logging in on the computer today. I don't know why. Bear with me, everybody. This is the live one. So, so how have you found it? Because obviously we've just had Easter, and that was a big talking point at group.
Oh, it was.
All about the Easter eggs and everything else. How have you found it this week with it being Easter? Have you found it more difficult than usual?
No, the absolute same. If I don't want to eat it, I don't go and buy it, and I don't bring it home.
Yeah.
So if it's not here, it's not sitting in front of me all the time wherever I am, just tempting me to eat it. So.
And we are very lucky in that, and we do realise that we're very lucky in that, because obviously for a lot of people,
you might have kids.
A lot of people who've got children, that isn't as easy. For many people out there, that really isn't that easy at all. But for us, it is one of those things that, again, because we don't have to worry about having kids and dealing with all of that, it's one less thing to have to deal with, isn't it? So according to what I can see on our end, Karen Fraser, good evening. Claire Law, good evening. I hope you are both doing well. I'm just trying to get our chat up and running properly so we can pull it up onto screen. So while I do that, but yeah, I mean, my week's been okay, as sort of as usual, really, I guess. It's been what it is. We kept on plan. We've eaten super healthy as always. We've done everything that we're supposed to do, haven't we? It's just whether or not that's enough for our weigh-ins, which I guess we'll find out about in a little while. Let me just double check. That should now have Yay, we've got the
But
chat
no
up.
matter what you do, it's all calories in versus calories out. So
It absolutely
even
is.
though Slimming World will tell you you can eat what, as much as you want. And after a while doing Slimming World, as your weight comes down, you have to realise that so do your portions. So you have to kind of reduce what you eat a little bit. Unless you want to move a lot more and be very active, then you could probably burn a lot of it off. But if not, then you have to reduce your portions a bit.
Yeah,
as you
absolutely.
go.
For some reason, the chat still doesn't want to work on here.
not?
I've
got
gone
it
through
here
it. I
anyway.
mean, we can see the chat. It's just
Yeah,
unfortunate
we
I
can.
can't put it up on screen. Kimberly down south, hello from Alabama. Sweet home Alabama. You made it through Easter without a single chocolate. Well done you.
Blimey.
Well done you. It's difficult when you've got people around you. But
yeah.
Kimberly is a school bus driver.
Wow.
Did the kids give you Easter eggs? Did they give you Easter? Like, did you get Easter presents from the parents or from the kids or anything? Because that would be a nightmare, wouldn't it?
I said,
You know,
even
like when kids go back to school and they go, or the last day of school, this is for teacher, and it's a mug with a load of stuff in it, chocolate and all that stuff. That would be a nightmare.
What if someone from our group did they got an egg, and I think they got more than one egg, gave some away,
Yeah.
and then the one that they kept, they then got the scales out and weighed it all 25 grams or whatever per serving or whatever, and did lots of little bags of their chocolate so that they knew exactly how many sins it were.
Yeah, I think didn't she say it was actually 27 grams because she's very particular, and it was 7 sins for this particular chocky egg.
Yeah.
At 27 grams was exactly 7 sins or something. I'm sure she'd worked out was it enough for 8 days?
Or something like that.
That just shows you how much chocolate is in an Easter egg.
Yeah.
I know
And
there's
you
not
could-
as much as there used to be when we were kids.
But when you were kids and that, you just break it up and you'd probably eat like half of the egg straight away, would you? Maybe when you was a kid.
Yeah, just half the egg.
Or maybe...
Definitely, I would just eat half the egg.
And then he'd always get a bag or Smarties or something else in it, or a chocolate bar as well.
And that would definitely be left for another day, not eaten on the same day.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So then, what have we eaten this week that you particularly enjoyed? Can you remember what we've had? We've had burrito bowls. They were lovely. We've had the Lidl beetroot burgers. We've had those.
We had stroganoff.
We did. We had the mushroom stroganoff, the Choosey winner from last week. That was actually really nice. I really enjoyed
steak
that.
Thinly sliced, cooked and then thinly
We have-
sliced. And then...
Yeah, we have filmed it. By the way, the first recipe is now up. It went live about 20 minutes ago for the, cauliflower mac and cheese with gammon. So that one is now actually live on the channel properly. They don't do Easter there in the same way. It's more about family and friends gathering for a meal, an Easter egg hunt for the kids.
That sounds nice.
I still don't understand why resurrection of Lord and Saviour is connected to eggs, because eggs is a pagan thing for a fertility symbol. I still don't get how the two got confused. Here's Jesus resurrecting, and then
Here, have some chocolate.
the chocolate is because of chocolate manufacturers wanting another holiday after Valentine's to push chocolate. Christmas pushed chocolate. They wanted another one before.
Because they want to make us all fat so
Yes.
they can put us all on diets.
Yeah, it was. But for the Easter egg hunts, I don't know how Easter egg and Easter bunny. I don't know how the Easter bunny lays the eggs. That's always confused me, and I don't know why the eggs, which is a sign of fertility in the pagan world, got connected.
But how
to...
did the bunnies lay chocolate eggs? That's what I want to know.
They're very special bunnies. You have
Yes,
to
I
breed
think
them
that-
very carefully.
You have to feed them the chocolate and then they lay the chocolate eggs.
That's why there's only one Easter bunny, and you only see the Easter bunny at Easter because he lives in the North Pole with Santa. He helps Santa and the Tooth Fairy. They all live at the North Pole together with Santa, and then when it's their particular holidays, they go off and do their holidays.
This is a nice story. I like
It's
this
a
one.
lovely
I like
story.
this.
And then also Halloween, Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King, comes out, but sometimes he wants to take over Christmas. So what he has to do is he has to kidnap Sandy Claus. Yeah, Sandy Claus. Yeah, he has to kidnap Sandy Claus and then put the suit on, but it's too big for him, you see, because obviously
He ain't got
Jack Skellington
no-
is a skeleton,
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
and Sandy Claus is a big fat jolly man. So he has to. Oh, what's that? Something just happened on screen. I don't know
Ooh.
what it was.
Was it a comment?
I don't know. No, I don't think it was. It was an alert or something, or a chat box. I don't know what happened. Someone sent a message. Anyway, I don't know what that was. We just saw it above your head. So yeah, that's what happens. Anyway, so before we talk about our weigh-in and we do Choosey and our Choosey results this week, our topic of the week today, for all of those of you who watch this, if you're watching live, feel free to join in the conversation. If you're not watching live, but you are perhaps attending a group, or maybe you're one of the online members and you can't get to a Slimming World group, or like Kimberly, there isn't one in your country even, let alone in your state, your town, your city, whatever. You know, it's like there just aren't any. Our topic of the week, we wanted to talk about dealing with disappointment. So I wanted to talk about this today, and I'll explain why when we get to my weigh-in. But I have found, since being on plan this time round, because of other health issues, I have had to deal with a lot of disappointment, haven't I? Yeah. A lot of times where I've gone to weigh in, and in the car on the way there, I'm all excited, and I've got those lovely butterflies in the tummy because I'm thinking I'm gonna have a really good result. I'm gonna get 3 or 4 pounds off, maybe 2 or 3 pounds off, maybe. I'm gonna be that much closer to my next award, that much closer to target. I've had a really good week on plan. I've enjoyed all the food we've eaten. I haven't needed to pick at anything else. I haven't gone over my sins. I haven't binged. I've been really, really with it. Drunk all my water, had lots of poops, like very regular, doing everything I'm supposed to. Walked as much as we're possible to with me walking stick and me wobbly fibro. And I've done everything. And then I get on the scales and it says maintain, or it says you've gained half a pound or 2 pound or whatever I've gained from week to week.
And you've eaten the same meals as me all week.
And sometimes that disappointment is soul crushing, because I know that I've been on plan. And it would be different if I was one of those, because some people say, oh, well, I think I've been on plan and I've been mostly on plan. But we don't have kids, so we're very lucky in that terms that we don't have to have crisps and snacks and lunchbox type stuff in. We don't have to have Easter eggs in at Easter, or Christmas chocolate at Christmas, and, you know, all of the gubbins. We don't need any of that in. We're very lucky that we live with someone else who's doing Slimming World, so the two of us are on plan.
It's a bit easier, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, and because even when one of us is poorly, touch wood, most days, at least one of us is poorly, to be honest. But most days the other one has at least enough spoons to be able to cook, or to be able to, even if it's only me taking some beetroot burgers out of the fridge, putting them in the air fryer, chucking in some jacket potatoes and some microwave veg, at least we're able to kind of manage between us every single day, aren't we? So we're both incredibly lucky for that. But that disappointment, when I know 100% that I've been on plan, and I come in with either a gain or a maintain. There's chat coming up here on screen, and I don't know what it's doing. Maybe I've got the wrong widget on. Maybe that's what it is. So let me, if I turn that one off, and yeah, I'll turn that one off. So Karen Fraser says, eggs represents the stone that sealed Jesus' tombs. Do they? I didn't know that. That's interesting. And the bunny, the Easter bunny. Kimberly says, pagan holidays became connected to religion, particularly Christianity through... Oh, no, I know all of that. As a dyed-in-the-wool pagan, I do know that. Early Christians adapted. They did. They reinterpreted them. They moved them. They changed the days around and moved it, because Jesus was resurrected on a day that is so many moons past the equinox.
Yeah.
So yeah, within a Christian context, this allowed for easier conversion. Yep, absolutely. Oh, Kimberly's very knowledgeable about this, isn't she? You're very knowledgeable, Kimberly. Know a lot. I like a lot. So yeah, so anyway, I am somebody who is an emotional eater. And when my mum died, which is 9 years now, isn't it? Yeah, 9 years. That crippled me, and I went completely off any type of plan.
Yeah.
Times where things have been really tough emotionally, I've overeaten to the point of binging. It's been really bad at times, but I know full well that when I'm on the Slimming World plan, I'm on it.
I know occasionally, like in the past, it didn't even have to be like bad food in the house. It could just be even good stuff that you would then overeat and put weight on. So it didn't even have to be like chocolate or anything like that, because we didn't always have it in anyway.
But this time round, I'm actually really on it. I think the most sins I've had since being back on plan might be 17. Which sounds a lot for one day when you're allowed. I mean, technically, because I weigh so much, I'm allowed up to 20 anyway, because I'm over the whatever the thing is in the books.
Yeah.
Spoilers, I'm quite fat. So I'm allowed up to 20. I never go to 20. I normally don't even go anywhere near 15. Last week, I think I got to 14 sins one day. The rest of it was all at 10s and 11s. So I always think when I go to weigh in, it's like, I should have a decent result, but my health issues, the diabetes, the fibro, the other stuff that I've got going on,
slows it all down.
Some of that can be really tricky to deal with. And so this week, yet again, I've had another disappointment, haven't I? And I got on the scales again this week, and I was convinced that I would be. I went away last week, and I think my goal was £3. It was certainly 2.5 to get to my 3.5 stone within 2 weeks. That was what I wanted, and I didn't get that. We'll talk about it in a second. But that disappointment, it would be so easy for me to come home yesterday and say, sod it, I'll order a pizza, or we haven't got a pizza, or I'm not going to order in, but I've got bags and bags and bags of low sin crisps, so I could have 15 bags of those low sin crisps, sod it, and scoff the lot. Yeah, and it would be very easy to do that. But what I am learning, and it's taking all of my faculties at the moment, isn't it? All of my mental health. It's taken all of my strength to say, do you know what? This journey for me is not going to look the same as Rufus's journey. What were you last week? You got your 5 stone award last week. Yeah, and the week before I got my 3 stone award. So it's like we're doing fine. The journey is different for the pair of us, but for that disappointment, I really struggle. And I've just got to remember that for me, I'm not racing Rufus. I'm not racing Helen at group, or Donna at group, or Beverly at group, or Patricia, William, Peter, Paul and Mary at group. I'm not racing anyone, am I?
You could have like 5 people from your group that like just like stay in your house and like at the same meals every day, and everyone would have the different weight loss every week.
Yeah. And for me, that's something that I'm really trying to be really mindful of, and trying to remember, is that fact that this is my journey and it's for me. It isn't for anybody else. And again, this week, if you know what's been happening in the UK for the trans community, you'll know it's been an incredibly tough week. It's a despicable week in some ways. But again, that overeating, that stress eating, it would be very easy just to go, I'm giving up on Slimming World. What's the point? I'm giving up. Blah, blah, blah. And for me this week, through my mindfulness practice has really helped. When I go to bed, I say some affirmations. I've got a relaxing music thing that helps me sleep. And just remembering, for me, I'm not doing this for anyone else. And if I now go off plan, how worse will I feel getting weighed in next week? Because no matter what happens, I'm going to weigh in next week, because we've got a countdown. It's already paid for, so I've got to weigh in. Yeah. So how much worse would I feel coming in with a massive gain?
You'd be surprised. I said we've been going there like just over 6 months now, and the amount of people that we see, like, you see them for a bit and then they're gone, and then like a few months later they come back, and then you're like kind of, oh, where have they been? And they're like, oh, I'm rejoining, and it's like,
Happens a lot, doesn't it? It really does happen a lot. And it is, I understand why people do that, because it is really difficult at times, isn't it? It is hard.
Yeah. Things can get in the way. Like I say, if you're super stressed or got lots of things going on, sometimes you just can't concentrate enough, like whether it be people's health or, you know, could be many things. But I'd say it might not be so bad. Like I say, if you're able to buy Slimming World meals, not everyone's able to. They are expensive as well. And like I say, not for every... If you're not in the UK, obviously, you're not going to be able to do that. But
also, we can, luckily, we could probably... Well, I wouldn't be able to afford all week, but we could have a couple of days of Slimming World meals. Yeah. Except, because I can't have gluten, and because I can't have tomatoes and peppers... Choice. I think there might be one meal that I can have. Did that used to
currently?
There used to be a few, but now there's only one. There used to be,
what was it called?
Paella.
The paella, but it has peppers in as well.
It's got lots of peppers in.
But apart from that, picking little bits out, if you didn't want to eat the tiny bits of pepper in it, then...
There's not a lot, is there?
There isn't.
And again, I know a lot of people don't have that option either. No. But for me, it is just about... I have learnt that... And listen, a lot of people will say, it'll come off next week. I really wish people would stop saying that, because some weeks it doesn't. And there's been plenty of times where I've had a pound gain and I've gone, oh, I'm really bloaty this week. And people around you go, oh, don't worry. It's just a bit of water weight. It will come off next week. A couple of good poops and you'll be fine. And then the next week I've weighed in and it hasn't. Like they always say, oh, next week you'll lose that and a bit more on top. It'll be really good. And it doesn't always work that way. And for me, it's just trying to remember that this is my journey, and that I would feel 10 times worse if I went off and had fish and chips or a pizza. Or, I mean, I'd be ill if I ate all that now. But if I went off and had something,
do just compare each other. Like I say, and they do it at group, even when they're not thinking about it. They're still comparing how well someone else did to themselves.
And I think sometimes, because we had a lovely lady at group, didn't we? Yeah. And she's really beating herself up. She's really set her own target, and she's so close to it. She's lost nearly 6 stone.
Was she like a pound or something away, or something like that?
I think 4 pounds away from her target, but 6 or 4 pounds. But every week she's really struggling to get that last little bit off, and it's crushing her. It's really sad. And for me, I always think, well, my target, I get to set my target, and hopefully when I'm closer to it, that'll be fine. But if I get to that same point, I've set my target. I said I want to lose on average 1.5 pounds a week. That's me saying that. If my body can't do that, well, that's like me saying I have dreams almost every night where I can fly. I'm not like Supergirl. I'm not like up in the air. I'm not like that. But I've got away in my dreams, right? And honestly, I wake up every single day and I think if I can just remember what I have to do, there's a certain move I do with my feet, and then I literally step off and then I step onto air and then the other foot comes off and then I'm floating, right? If I remember how to do that one day when I'm awake, I will be able to, I can fly. I just can't remember the exact bit I need to do. Honestly, I am going somewhere with this, right? Yeah. So that is a thing, right? That is an absolute thing that can happen. I just, every day, I get that little bit of disappointment that, oh, I can't, right? So it's like that disappointment. I set myself my goal to lose the weight. I set myself the goal. I set myself that target. If my body isn't capable of doing it, then I need up here to change my target. My body currently isn't capable.
Is this the reason why you're not flying?
Yeah, because my body at the moment isn't capable of flying because I've forgotten what I need to do with my feet to do the flyy bit. So I have to, every day I have to remember, oh, my body's not capable of that. And it's the same thing with setting my target. So it's a roundabout thing, but it is. It's the same thing of setting my target at Slimming World. If I'm not capable of losing £2, £3, £4 every week, I need to adjust my expectations, and I think that for me is really important.
You're walking in the air.
Do you know what? When I won awards for singing that at school. Anyway, I did. So, what about you? How do you deal with disappointment? I mean, you know, this is Rufus, who's on he's speed running Slimming World, aren't you, love? But how do you deal with the disappointment in Slimming World and also in the rest of the world besides?
Eat too many eggs or eat bananas, and I don't do much of that now.
What?
So,
That's how you deal with disappointment.
yeah, if I eat them, I'm going to be very disappointed.
So how? But how? So those weeks where you've done that, where you've had a couple of extra eggs and you've had bananas and you've weighed in and not had a good loss, how do you cope with that? How do you cope with not going, sod it, I'm going to order a biryani?
For me, like I say, I know that I've eaten the right things and it will show up next week or the week after. It catches me up eventually, but that's just how my body works, so I don't really stress about it.
I wish I could be more like Rufus, I really do. Let's have a look at the chats. Kimberly says you also don't have children. That gives you all the control over what's in your house.
Yeah,
it's that's a really important thing, isn't it? I absolutely agree. You're an emotional eater tall. That's tall.
Emotional eater, yeah.
You are an emotional eater too. That's why Slimming World works for you. You need structure. You ate a lot when your mum died and when you divorced. I get it. This is a Slimming World chat. Can you briefly say what the ruling was and what it means for your day-to-day life? I'm going to read on it, but I haven't heard any details here. Okay, so then, very, very briefly, a Scottish women's refuge or women's support group, took the Scottish Council to court because under the Equality Act, basically transgender people are allowed into same-sex spaces. And what they queried was whether the definition of same-sex is the same definition of gender. Now, scientifically, sex is talking about biology and gender is a social construct. So gender is talking about how people identify, how people see themselves. They're very specifically different. However, people conflate them. Now, the ruling has come down that sex is biological and that the equalities, the Equality Act, the Equal... the Equal Rights Act, there's another word for it that I've just forgotten. Anyway, that act basically says, very specifically, it's worded as sex. So this ruling has said sex is biological. Now, what that means is transgender people have to use facilities depending on their sexual definition at birth, which generally speaking is what's on your birth certificate. Now, that's a bit screwed up because there's also a Gender Recognition Act in the UK, which means that transgender people have the right to, with the gender services, the professionals who basically will analyse us and put us through years and years and years of medical-based testing, will determine whether our gender identity is permanent, i.e. whether... this is something that isn't going to be changed next week. Yeah. And then you have to apply and it costs money and you need to apply all of these reports, a big stack of information. And then a judge who's never had gender issues determines whether or not you can be granted a gender recognition certificate. And all that certificate does, there's only two people that ever get to see it, yourself and the clerk of admission, the clerk of records at the whatever department, wherever it was, the records department where you were christened, where you were born. So you go, that basically gets sent to whichever town you were born in or city you were born in, and they say, oh, this record, for instance, for me, they say, oh, this record for Lisa, this shows that Lisa, dead name, was assigned, they thought she was a boy at birth. Unfortunately, that is wrong. So we've corrected it because this certificate says that this is Lisa's permanent identity. Yeah. So we've reissued it with an F instead of an M. That's all the gender recognition certificate does. It doesn't do anything else.
But I said you can get your driving licence and all that changed and all that. We
my
don't
medical
need to do
records,
that for your driving licence to be changed.
No, my medical records say female. My driver's licence says female. My passport says female. Every piece of government issued ID I have says female, apart from my birth certificate.
Yeah, that's it.
Unless you get a gender recognition certificate, which changes that. So that is the only difference. But what the ruling has now said is that effectively agencies, organisations, people have the right to treat me as a male, that I am no longer able to access women's only same-sex spaces. So I now have to put my life at risk and use the men's toilets. If my cancer comes back and I need to go for more surgeries, I will be placed in a men's ward at hospital. It's regardless of surgeries and whatever I've got going on between my legs. That is neither here nor there. Despite the fact that we know that my personal story is that when I first went to the gender clinic, my hormone levels were in the female range. So I may well be an intersex person because intersex people exist. And I may well have had either a chromosomal or some sort of genetic issue that meant that my hormone levels after puberty were in the female range. So therefore there's something else that was going on with me personally. But that's disregarded. Anybody who is intersex, so that could be the traditional definition of hermaphroditism, which is indeterminable genitals or genitalia that is both male and female, so a penis and a vagina.
So
that happens.
Also, people, we've known a few people like it, that they go most of their life thinking that they are one gender, and then as they hit a certain age, their body, the hormones, level of their hormones, obviously, if you've got a higher testosterone level, obviously you're going to present much different than if you're on mostly estrogen. And for some people, I've known like people that grown up male, identify with being male, and then get to a certain point in life, and then all of a sudden their testosterone drops dramatically, and then they start losing body hair, and having certain feminizing changes happen that they weren't even aware of, and then found out that they were intersex.
And that's what's called secondary sexual characteristics.
Yeah.
And those happen. They can happen later in life. This particular person that we know, they lived into their 50s as a male.
Yep.
Completely born with an outie, not an innie. Happily married, had kids, went through that entire process, hit the age into their 50s when the testosterone level naturally starts to recede, and then their estrogen level was rocketed.
Yeah.
And they started to medically transition, not having seen a doctor, not taking anything, not doing anything. They grew breasts. They all of the secondary sexual characteristics changed. The outie started to everything changed.
They were married, had a
wife,
and everything. So,
and all that person did, they basically internally their gender switched. And because they had an intersex condition. There are intersex conditions that affect chromosomes. So this idea that biologically there is XX and XY is false. There's also XXX, XXY, XXY. There's so many variations on that. Some people
go through a lot of their life and not even realise at all. Like say, even you could have different different parts inside and not even realise.
Yeah, I know. And the really sad thing is that all of the biologists will tell you there is no such thing as only two sexes. Sex, as much as anything else, is on a spectrum. In the same way that people's skin colour is on a spectrum, people's hair colour, eye colour, everything is on a spectrum. There is no, this is a black person, this is a white person, because everybody's skin tone and skin colour is different, and it changes. And this is the same with biological sex. There is more than just the common. Yes, there are poles at each end where the majority of people have typical sexual characteristics of male and female, but lots of people are on that spectrum in the middle. And the chances are, people watching this, we've got 2,100 nearly subscribers on this channel, which is amazing, by the way. Thank you all. Out of those 2,000 people, there will be a large number of people that struggle with fertility issues or struggle with women with hirsutism, like that grow facial hair, women that have, so cis women that have always been born female, identified in that way all the way through, that will have other things happening. There are plenty of cis men, so non-trans men, that will have hormonal changes and other things happening with them. The reality is, most people, we don't get our chromosomes checked, we don't get our hormones checked. So this idea of everybody knows biologically, you cannot 100% correlate somebody's genitalia, how their genitalia looks, with their biological sex. It doesn't work that way in at least a decent percentage of people. Wasn't it something like the same number of the people on the planet, the same percentage that is ginger is intersex? They just don't know
10%.
it. Yeah, it was something
10%.
like that. And the reality is, most people don't discover that they have an intersex condition until they are trying for a baby. And then they get chromosomes tested, and then it's discovered XYZ is happening.
But if you've got no reason to have your hormone levels checked, to, no other problems, then most people don't go to a GP to get it checked.
No. So that's the main issue with biological, is that it doesn't make any sense anyway. Let alone the fact that whether people have a gender recognition certificate or not, when you're going through and you have a medical diagnosis, and the agreed medical procedure for that diagnosis is to allow somebody to live in the gender that they are medically assessed that is correct for them, right? This ruling now upsets that, which means Rufus, big old hairy old Rufus here, with your beard and your smelly armpits and everything else is hairy back, all the other all the other stuff that Rufus as a male, right? You now have to go in the women's toilets.
I know, right? I mean, I knew I was popular, but I didn't know that they all wanted me in the toilet as well.
I know, right? So on a day-to-day basis, I have to put my life at risk and use the men's, and Rufus has to use the women's. If we ever go to hospital, that's where we're placed. If we ever go to jail for whatever reason, that's where we're placed.
But so what about things like you get people that don't look a certain way? So someone female might have some facial hair, or some hormonal things going on, and don't look
short hair.
You don't look, they basically, people are wanting to put you in boxes. So if you don't fit into that box and you don't look like a certain type of person, you're probably going to get stopped and questioned. So you might be cisgender and everything, but you may well be stopped and told that you can't go in that toilet because they're questioning if you're female or not, or whether you're male.
Yeah, and that's already been happening there with all of this argument, and with all of this argument and stuff that's happened in the States, and now it's happening here. There have already been butch-looking women, women with short hair, women that are taller than the average, women that are broader than the average, that are being questioned and stopped, and sometimes attacked in women's toilets for how they look, because they don't look womanly enough. So now feminism, which did an amazing job of saying women are more than just whether or not they choose to have kids, whether they are able to have kids, whether they are able to be pretty little blonde things with high heels and mini skirts and, oh, look at me. Women, as what a woman is, has moved on so much, right?
That's it.
That now that is all going backwards. It affects public toilets, it affects private people, it affects arguably it affects everything.
So how many people really am I going to upset by walking in the ladies' toilets? you know, just by going in
Yeah.
there, they'll be like, probably feel really bad that I'm even in there and having to go in there to go to the toilet.
But the
in
worst
first place.
thing is, the worst thing with all of this, apart from the fact that now trans women are going to be at risk of violent and sexual attacks because we are having to use men's toilets.
Yeah.
Other men that look like Rufus, who are cisgendered, who have a beard, maybe not a beard, probably not even a beard, but other men who are just walking around, cisgender men, will now be able to say, I'm supposed to use the women's toilet because I was assigned female at birth. And those men can be...
I said they may not be trans or anything.
No.
They just could be cisgender
Cis
men.
perverts.
And you don't have to, you know, you haven't got to show anybody your body or anything.
Well, there's no way.
To prove that, because that person, like say, might say, I've had all the surgeries, I've had lower surgery, I've had my, you know,
Top
breast
surgery.
removed and all of that. I've had all of that done. So I just look like every other guy. So, and just walk in there and then attack someone.
Yeah.
So.
And there's no way of stopping it because unfortunately, with the hatred against trans women, nobody has realised once again that trans men exist.
Yeah.
And whilst it, I was beaten or I was punched when I was 30 on my 38th birthday. Many years before, I'm a rape survivor. Neither of those people that did that were trans. Neither of the people that did that were on any kind of spectrum. They were both cis white men. And the people that this is going to enable to enter a women's bathroom, a women's changing room, a women only space are cis white or cis men. So that is the reality.
I said it's all over. Like I say, if you're someone that goes on TikTok, there's loads of people on there that are saying, you know, they're telling the trans guys to you can just carry on just going in their toilets that you know obviously are for you. So carry on going in the men's toilets. You don't have to come in the ladies, but we want to feel safe, so that's why we don't want trans women in there.
Yeah. So
And
basically, what they're saying is, oh well, it doesn't
Don't
apply
come-
to you.
yes,
You don't
yep,
exist.
Yep. Don't come in our
Don't
toilets
worry about the
because we
law.
don't want you in the ladies'
Don't
toilets.
worry about the law.
But
no,
then,
you don't come in ours.
But then the law has now told us that we have to
what we've
go
got
in
to
those
do.
toilets. So yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it's completely screwed up is what it is. But anyway, thank you for asking. This is probably going to be the last week that we talk about this because this really isn't the place. But what I will do is I will clip down that whole bit segment and we'll put it separately on the channel for anybody who's got those questions. And we certainly, listen, if anyone's got any questions about how this affects you, anybody out there that is LGBTQ, anybody that is cis and just wants to know how they can be an ally, you can always message us. We're on, Instagram. I always forget it. We're on Instagram at Beyond Authentic Health. You can always email as well, health@beyondauthentic.co.uk. That's the website. So yeah, you can always contact us. We will try and answer questions if we can. The one thing I will say, because we used to run a trans support group and we were very active within the trans world, we don't mind answering those questions. But please, if you know somebody in your life who is trans or non-binary, don't go asking them. Don't you know, if it's one of those things, Google is your friend.
Yeah.
Not every trans person is comfortable answering questions
I say
about their
if
genitals or anything
people
else.
openly tell you stuff, you know, because you're a close friend or whatever, and they come out and tell you stuff, then that's great.
That's
but
different.
if they don't, you don't go asking. Yeah.
No. So then, with all of that being said, absolutely no problem, Kimberly. Thank you for sharing. No problem at all. As I say, this whole channel is our journey. It's our, as it says here, look, our weight loss journey and beyond. That beyond covers the whole of our lives. We are quite open about who we are as individuals.
But like most trans people and that, we just want to get on with life and feel comfortable.
I just want to lose weight.
Yeah. But just, you know, in general, you just want to just crack on, get on with your life and feel more comfortable while doing it. And
absolutely.
That's all we're doing. We're not any we're not any threat to anybody. We just want to just...
All you want to do is download the new pack on Sims, whatever the new Sims thing is on Sims 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever it is, and go and open a business on Sims, isn't it?
I said, even me though, I said, I've got some of those, is it like, what are they called? Exercise bands, so just to get my body moving a little bit. So just to try, like I say, I think being heavier for so long, I think it does restrict a lot of the things you can do, and then like, over time, it's like with a little bit less fat in different parts of your body, you can kind of move your body a lot more. Like I say, but it's just going to take some time.
So when Rufus uses these weight bands, right, you know, the big elastic bandy things, I will be setting up a permanent camera because I have seen many TikToks, many YouTube shorts, many videos of fails where it's hit people in the face, in the guts, in the bits, where it's slapped people left, right and centre. So hopefully, I hope it doesn't happen, love, but if it does, we'll capture it on film because it's £250 on You've Been Framed.
Is it?
I know, right?
What, they've still got that show on?
I don't know.
From like 20 odd years ago, really?
Anyway, put your details of what your weighing results are in the live chat. If anyone is still here for Slimming World, they haven't all gone, oh my God, they're going on about this gender stuff again. Do please put it in the live chat. Let us know how your weight loss journey is going. So then, Rufus, where are we at? We're at the weigh-in results. So then, let me find this one. Right, are you ready? It's our weigh-in results time. Let's hit the button. So how did we get on? You weighed in before I did this week, didn't you?
You did.
Really
I
fast. I know. You were this week. So there's a queue at weigh-in, right? Yeah. And we've done all the thing. I bought a cookbook because there was a new cookbook. Being
funny when we went
and you
in,
were like,
you had both of our books as we went in to get weighed in, and Lisa just walks off with mine. I'm like, hello, your book is here. You're not going to get weighed in with my book.
I didn't even realise. I thought I'd given you my one. But anyway, so you weighed in first. So what happened last week? How much did you lose last week?
£4.5 last week.
Oh yeah, because you had a mega week last week, didn't you? And I had a maintain. Talk about disappointing weeks. Right then, so yeah, you came in last week with your 5 stone award.
I did last
with
week.
With £4.5 off, which means your total weight loss was £5. No, £5 off.
£5 last week I lost.
So which means you came in with, you were 5 stone, 2.5 pounds down. So then, what happened with you, my darling, when you got on the scales? How did you weigh in?
I took my shoes off, and then they did say I have to empty all my pockets out and everything.
Not that.
What? That's what you just said. How did I get weighed?
As in, what happened?
I keep my clothes on though. Obviously.
What was the result when you weighed in?
I did lose weight. I did lose £3.5 this week.
Yay! So you lost another £3.5, which takes you to
5 stone, £6.
5 stone, £6. That is absolutely amazing. So how did that go for you? What do you think about that? £3.5.
I think it's really good. Like I say, for me,
it's quite a lot, isn't it?
I didn't expect to lose that much this week, to be honest, but then I've been being a little bit more careful about how much goes on my dinner plate. If I'm just having salad, a potato and chicken and something, I don't mind. I can eat loads and loads of salad and stuff. And then days when we've just had loads of different vegetables and other stuff, I've had a little bit less on my plate. So I'm not piling it up as much as I used to, because obviously my weight is slowly coming down. I've got to slowly reduce the amount of food I'm eating in one go on my plate. So,
but it did also, that meant with your £3.5 off this week, it did mean something else happened.
I got Slimmer of the Week as well. I got Slimmer of the Week.
So Rufus got Slimmer of the Week this week as well.
I did.
So well done to Rufus.
Sticker.
No, over your surname, dear. Don't dox yourself. Yes. So that's really good. So that means in the last 2 weeks, you've come in with £8.5 in 2 weeks,
I know.
which is absolutely bonkers. So then I had to follow that. And this week I was doing really well. I've stuck to plan. I've been under my sin allowance.
I don't think you've eaten many eggs.
No, I haven't eaten a lot of eggs or anything.
Or banana.
You got the clap. Kimberly says you got the clap. Karen didn't go to weigh in this morning. You and your family have got an awful bug. Oh my God. I hope you're feeling better soon, Karen. Lots of fluids, lots of water, paracetamol if you need it. What is it I take? The salt things. Electrolytes.
Electrolytes, yeah.
Get some electrolytes.
Those ones you pop in the water.
Yeah. So I weighed in today. Been on plan all week. No more than 14 sins on one day. The rest of it, 7, 8, 11 as my usual. Didn't feel hungry. Felt really good all week.
Our dinners have all been the same.
Yeah. So, smaller portions again for us because we're both in the same sort of boat. Sometimes when we've done a burrito bowl, I'll have all of mine at once. Rufus tends to split yours now, don't you? You have a little bit later and a little bit, a bit less in your bowl and a bit later. And I came in this week with a £1.5 gain. And I've got no idea where. No. So it means for me in the last 2 weeks, I've gained £1.5 because last week I maintained. And Rufus came in the same 2 weeks eating the same sort of food with £8.5 off. So that's where
I probably had more sins than you as well during the week.
And that's where that disappointment can creep in. But I am absolutely determined. I am absolutely determined. I am completely sticking to plan. I am completely on it. Thank you. Look at Kimberly saying sorry for Karen being poorly. Our communities are so lovely. I'm completely sticking to plan. I am determined to get 2.5 off this week. I've actually set my goal as £3 for this coming week.
Did you think as well that you might have been a little bit bunged up?
I thought, well, to be honest, no, I didn't think I was because I've started to get, and again, this might be a little bit graphic, but I don't know if you can see, my tummy here, right, is all squidgy. And that never happens normally. So my tummy here, like, you can see,
really
look
hard
at that, squidgy. I'm getting squidgy, right? And when I do that, boobies bounce, everything's looser. So that to me is saying something is shifting here internally, and that's probably the fat because, you know, although I can still pinch more than an inch, I can pinch less than I used to. Yeah. So I can feel my shape changing. Yeah. I can feel the fact that this t-shirt is supposed to fit me really well, and it's really baggy, and this is a new t-shirt that I bought. So my shape is shifting and all of that, but for whatever reason, my weight hasn't had that same effect this week. Now, the one thing I will say is that when I did weigh in, pretty much straight afterwards, I had to go number 2s. Yeah. And then I came home and went number 2s again, and then I went number 2s again. So I might have been a bit blocked.
That morning as well, you was up fairly early, and then
I did have 3 coffees that day.
Quite a bit.
But that's no different to a normal day for me. I'd normally have at least 1 and maybe 2 coffees because we get weighed in the afternoon at 4 o'clock. So I normally, no matter what time I get, unless I get up at 3, which is sometimes happens with fibro, but unless I get up super late, I've normally had at least 1 or 2 coffees. But this week it just didn't go for me the way that it should do. No. So I've decided that I'm quitting Slimming World and I'm going to eat loads of takeaways, and I'm just doing what I'm doing. So yesterday we had a burrito bowl, didn't we?
We did
that I'd cooked. Rufus had chopped all the salad bits up and prepped all of that. I did a... in fact, I've got the thing. I'll put it up as a short in a minute. We had some turkey mince that I sweated the fat off and then drained that out. Then we put it with some corn mince, which was free, and some Cajun spice, some chopped up onions, some mushrooms chopped up. I put in a can of butter beans, some sweet corn. What else went into it? I think there was something else as well. So cooked all it off with our normal garlic and herbs, Cajun spice. Initially, I thought I'd overdone it with the Cajun spice, to be honest, because I tried it as I was cooking it, and I was like, oh, that's very hot. I thought I would have to add some soy yogurt in to cool it down, but I didn't. And I made it up during the day and left it to the side. And then in the evening time, when it was time to eat, I prepped all our salads, put the salad in the bowl, put that on top. We've got 2 takeaway tubs of it in the fridge for tonight. So we're just going to do a stir fry veg mix and put that on top tonight. It was really, really, really yummy. So I stayed on plan yesterday, staying on plan today, staying on plan all week. Hopefully on Tuesday when we weigh in next week, I'll have a much better result. But I'm not letting it stop me, because
I'll say it may well show up next week.
It may do, may not. I might come in with another gain, in which case, if that happens, it'll be time for me to go back to the doctor and say, look, something is going on again, because a maintain and 2 gains
right,
when I've been eating super on plan, nothing off plan, because we if we're not going to eat it, we don't bring it in the house. So super on plan. What's happening? It might just be that my body is reacting to something. They might need to check my thyroid again or something. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not going to let it stop me. But anyway, that is our weigh-in results for this week. So let us know how you've gone. Right then, shall we talk about the other thing that we do every week now? By the way, if you haven't seen already, the first Choosey video is already up on the channel. So the recipe for the cauliflower mac and cheese is up. It went up at 6:15, I think it was, earlier this evening. So that is up. But last week's winner has been tallied and verified. Shall we talk about Choosey? And so last week you won again.
I did. It was the smoked salmon and leek hash.
Yeah. Now, normally we'd have cooked that for either yesterday or today, but obviously we've got the burrito bowl, so we're going to have that tomorrow. So we'll let you know. We'll film it and I'll let you know how that goes. The second week's video, what was the second week we did? The beef stroganoff. That video has been recorded. I'm editing that as we speak, so that will come up as well. Should be by the end of this week. Obviously, with all of the stress that we've had this week, I've been quite tired. It's affected my fibre really badly, so I haven't been able to do a lot of editing.
But I did like it though.
It was okay. We both said it was okay. Maybe needs a bit more flavour, but it was okay. It was quite good. Oh, Kimberly, you lost £2. You get the clap. Wow. Hang on, give Kimberly the clap, everybody. Kimberly, you get the clap. Where's the clap gone? I've lost the clap. Oh no, I can't give Kimberly the clap. Hang on, I can.
That one.
Hang on. Yeah, go on then, press it. Oh, I've got the chat up as well. Here we go. There we go. Kimberly gets the clap. Where is the clap gone? Kimberly gets the clap.
That's really good in 3 weeks.
Yay, that's good. Wow. That's £8 in 3 weeks. Wow, you're awesome. That is awesome. Oh, well done to you. Oh, I'm really happy. That's awesome. Kimberly, that is really, really good. Yay! Look, the chat's working now.
I said Lisa was telling me about you got your, is it your Slimming World book and bits and pieces come from Slimming World?
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Cool, isn't it?
Yeah, that is really, really awesome.
I didn't even know that they'd do that. But
no, I didn't.
No.
I didn't know they did that. But that is awesome. Yeah, a little courtesy from Kimberly. Thank you very much. That is really good. That is absolutely awesome. Well done on that. £8 in 3 weeks. That's like your levels of weight loss. Wow. Oh, hang on a second. Oh, can we have you got all your certificates there? Can I borrow your pack a second? Hang on then, because that means hang on. Let me do a thing.
What?
Let me do a thing. Have you got your
What are you looking for?
£1 award, half stone award. Hang
I don't know.
on.
Probably somewhere.
Yeah, it is. I've just seen it. Hang on, everybody. I need to do Kimberly a thing because Kimberly hasn't got a group. So, Kimberly, here we go. We would like to officially, Kimberly, offer you your very own half stone award. Yay! Kimberly gets her half stone award in 3 weeks. That is awesome, Kimberly. 3 weeks, half stone award. This is the honorary half stone award for you, my darling. Yay! That is well done, Kimberly. That is awesome. Well done. That is really cool. I'm very, very, very happy for you. We'll have to get all our other ones on standby and we'll do that every week for people. So yay! Well done to you. So then, Choosey for this week. We have chosen. We have choosied. Yay! You did really well, my love. That is so cool. Right, we have chosen for this week, haven't we, Rufus?
We did.
And let me just go. If I press that, we'll put you on the fridge. We will do, darling. We'll put you on the on the fridge. So then, what have you choosied, Rufus, for your choosy this week? Because we're going to have the salmon and smoked leeks. What was it? That's not right.
Smoked salmon.
Smoked salmon and leek hash. I still don't know what hash is. But anyway, go on then. So your choosy this week, your option is, first of all, what's the book?
It's called Tremendous.
So is it all tray bakes?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, tray bakes. Easy. An easy one.
But if you can see,
Yeah.
it is. You can see that it says baked kedgeree.
Baked.
So it's rice kedgeree.
For some reason, I thought you said baked budgery.
No,
Budgery, guy.
I ain't eating a budgie.
baked budgie?
There's no meat on it.
My brain literally was like, baked budgie.
It's got brown rice. It's
Right.
got eggs. It's got fish. I don't. Is it just white fish they put in it?
I don't know. It's got sugar snap peas, brown rice, curry powder, fish stock, skinless and boneless white fish fillets. Yeah, spinach, eggs, and then it looks like that. That looks really nice. I've never had a kedgeree.
No.
Pedigree is what I want to say. But yeah, I've never had a kedgeree before.
You're not cooking the rice before. The rice, all the things go in the tray, and then it's cooked in the oven.
Does the rice cook though?
Yes.
Is it raw?
Raw rice in there with the chicken, with the fish stock and everything, and then it's cooked and put in the oven and then cooked.
But
yeah, so the fish and all of the things that go in there, and then it gets baked.
But that rice is fluffy.
And then but that's cooked in the tray. It takes half an hour to cook it. It says 20 minutes and then another 10 minutes. So check it another 10 minutes and then it goes in, and then you put your eggs in after. And then you covered it in foil and baked it.
Hi, Holland!
And then after you've baked it, when you go to put your eggs in, you basically make 4 little holes in the tray. Obviously not in the tray, but actually...
And you get your eggs.
You move the rice and stuff around and then do that. And then pop your eggs in, 5 minutes later, serve it, and that's it.
That sounds really nice, actually. We like fish.
Yeah.
Hence the reason we got fish this week.
And as well, there's no tomatoes in this. Because
No.
most of the other things have got tomatoes.
So I went for, I choosied in the best tradition of
What
Amberlin
did you
Reed.
get?
I choosied the Take 5 Second Helpings book because there is a reason. Because I don't think we've even properly looked in this book. They did a Take 5 book, which is 5 ingredients, and then this is the follow-up book. I don't think we've even looked in this. So because
Did we do one out of the other one? Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't remember what book it was. But because with three weeks on a row, Rufus has won, I am playing the odds, you see, because if I win, I want something easy.
Yeah, when you did our last ones, you didn't say who had picked what.
No, and I'm not going to do that this week either. So only people on here will know. So then, out of the Take 5, so it's 5 ingredients, and this is also ready in 35 minutes.
Yeah, so don't watch this video first.
No, you can do. I have chosen that my choosy option will be another thing that I don't think I've had. Turkey and broccoli pilaf. Not piaf, not John and the
Little strips of carrots, is it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or is that
So
carrots?
I'll tell you in a second. Hang on. It says this fab and filling Middle Eastern rice dish gets a real flavour lift from the lemon zest and juice. So your 5 ingredients that you need are brown rice, brown basmati rice, long stem broccoli. We love long stem broccoli. Turkey breast fillets. We love turkey breast fillets. 2 carrots and a
lemon.
A zest and juice of an unwaxed lemon. I am not going to go and ask a lemon whether it's waxed. That's none of my business. I don't know, you know what I mean, what they do, whether it's au naturel or whether they wax or whether they shave is up to... I don't understand what an unwaxed lemon is. Are lemons normally waxed?
Like you get waxed apples and...
But like, how can you tell in the supermarket if you pick up a lemon? Does it smell? I don't know. Do you have to go to a posh shop? Do you have to go to Waitrose or somewhere? Organic farm shop to go and get a
when you
£7.50 for a lemon.
When you go and pick an apple out of a tree, you don't find it's all shiny, do you?
No,
but
I know,
you see
but we
the
haven't
ones
got...
in the supermarket to make them look nice.
We haven't got a lemon. We haven't got a lemon tree in the garden. So where am I going to get an unwaxed lemon from? That's what I mean. Where am I going to get an unwaxed lemon from? All the shops, if they're all waxed in the shops, we're going to have to go to Waitrose. Or to an organic farm shop. Excuse me, I can't possibly have
You
an
just get your Brillo pad out and you just like scrub it a bit.
No, because you need the zest, and that's the bit that you're supposed to... You do that with. You scrub it on that.
Give it a good scrub.
Holland says it's pretty hard to find an unwaxed lemon. They are, you see. So we're going to have to go somewhere posh. So don't choose this. Choose him again. Anyway, it says here...
I said on one of the recipes I looked at, we asked Alexa... where can I buy fat-free fromage frais? And a lot of the time...
what did she say?
She said that she didn't know,
she said,
basically.
Quark is a really
she said
good...
Quark. And we said fat-free fromage frais because a lot of the recipes they have in these books have fat-free fromage frais.
Karen says lemons have a label saying it's unwaxed. So we're going to have to go and find a lemon with a label.
The unwaxed ones.
Yeah. Which means we're going to have to go for many supermarkets. Please don't vote for this. It's a right faff. But but then all you do is you chop things up and bung it in a pan. But you do, in this one, you do actually cook the rice separately. So, yeah, you do the rice and then you add the rice to the pan. Then you cook the broccoli. Then when the rice has been cooking 20 minutes, you put the... turkey and stir fry for 5 minutes, then add the carrots and most of the lemon zest, and then stir fry for 2 minutes, add the broccoli, lemon juice and a little seasoning and toss together. So it's literally, seasoning, that's not one of the 5 ingredients. So there's 7 ingredients. 7 ingredients.
They fibbed.
You can get a veggie wash. Oh, you work for the orange supermarket. All our lemons are unwaxed. What's the orange supermarket? Sainsbury's. Oh, okay. Thank you for that, Karen. We'll have to go Sainsbury's. That's good because right now we live, there's a Sainsbury's with a Costa in the car park, isn't there? There's a Starbucks in Sainsbury's, but I can't stand Starbucks. But there's a Costa, so we'll have to go there, get a Costa.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Have a look in the charity shop, have a little peruse around B&M. Bloody expensive unwaxed lemon, wasn't it? The orange supermarket, Sainsbury's. You'd love to go to Waitrose. You can get a veggie wash. What's a veggie wash? Is that where you chop up your vegetables, get them in a nice pan, a low heat, so it's just warm, and then you dip your flannel in your washcloth and you do all of that, and then you get the broccoli and you give it a good old scrub because it's exfoliating.
What, on your face?
Yeah. And then you put it all back in.
With your fat-free fromage frais.
With your fat-free fromage frais and your quark. Yes. So then, those are the choosy options. So I am going for the turkey and broccoli pilaf.
But like Lisa said, don't pick her because it's a faff.
It's the turkey and broccoli pfaff.
Yes.
Pfaff. Pfaff on. And yours is...
I think it looks nice.
Yeah, yours looks nicer. A kedgeree. So I don't think I have never had a pilaf. I don't know what that is. And yours is a...
We've eaten lots of fish, but we haven't done it like that with the eggs.
And yours is the...
With the
doodah kedgeree. What is it? What's it called? The baked kedgeree. So those are your choosy options for this week. We will film it. Hopefully, I can get the other ones done and edited and up this week, so that by next week we should be just about there and caught up. So then, what is your goal for this week? Kimberly says the kedgeree. You've got to vote, my darling. We'll put the poll up straight after this has gone live. I meant to do it just before, but I'll put the poll up once this is finished on the live stream. I will put it up for you, my love. So then, what's your goal for this week? Are you setting a weight loss goal? My weight loss goal is £3, but I do have another goal that I'm going to talk about. What's your goal for this week?
Group this week. What I wanted.
No, no, she didn't.
I think sometimes though, when you get people at group that are doing really well, sometimes they kind of like
skip over.
Yeah, it's kind of like you go for group therapy, but they're kind of like not really. You know, you only get must be a minute or two, if that, per person when they go around and do group therapy. But I think sometimes they don't think people that are still doing okay, regular losses every week, that those people are like going to be struggling or anything like that. They just assume that you're okay. But no, this week I did try cooking something and using my camera, my phone, and it's still on my phone, but I've had to change position on it a few times because it would record for so long and then it would just cut off. So I've got a new phone, so I said I might try and do it in that, but I have done one of my curries while you were doing your live the other night. So I did if Lisa's still able to put it together, she'll put it together, or I can just recreate it again because it's super easy.
No, I'll be able to put it together. You've got a smoked salmon and leek hash.
Yeah, hash to do. And also I used our little speakers and plugged that into my phone, and then that just decided it didn't want to work.
So your goal is to work with the technology and be better at that this week.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a really good goal. That would be really helpful for me.
Yeah. Well, if I manage to get it all pretty much in one video, it's a lot easier to edit.
Yeah, I've still got to go through and get ums and ahs and fluff ups out, because at least if I'm not in the room with you, there's going to be a lot less fluff ups, because I fluff things up all the time. Look at me not swearing. It's good, isn't it? I know, right? I've got my little sign up there.
I don't have all of that. I don't have all that. You know, you're saying whatever, and then I'm trying to like say something and all of this and all of that on there.
I know. It's just you on your own.
I know. I just mumble into myself on the camera. And then...
my goal this week on weight loss, I want to lose £3 because I am currently at the 3 stone and half a pound, which for me puts me in that danger zone where that 3 stone award might have to come off the fridge again.
Hopefully not.
Off the cupboard.
I'm sure it'll be fine this week.
I don't want that to come off the cupboard, so I have to work really hard on making sure that I hydrate throughout the week. That this has got my electrolytes in that I take every day, because partly with the diabetes and the weight loss meds and everything else, it can mean that I need to replace electrolytes apparently. So I've been doing that for a month. But
yeah, and also I didn't realise that sometimes it's either just me or that
I have to look at that.
Eating certain things, obviously, and eating a super clean diet. Apparently, you're supposed to drink a lot more water, and not just coffee and that, because obviously anything with caffeine will slightly dehydrate you. So
it can be a diuretic, make you wee.
So to drink more water, whether it be a little bit of squash or whatever, and just to at least drink before every meal, to at least drink a full glass or whatever of water, or let's say. But even a lot of the pop has got caffeine, so anything like that.
Yeah. So your goal is to
drink more water as well.
For Slimming World, then your goal is to carry on with the plan, but drink more water. And your life goal this week is to do more technological filming-y stuff.
Yeah, try and figure it out. So.
My Slimming World goal, as I say, is £3, and also I've just thought for the last 3 weeks I've been taking these electrolyte tablets. And the last 3 weeks, my weight loss hasn't been great. Maybe I'm going to try not taking the electrolytes this week and see if it makes any kind of difference.
That would just be salts and stuff. It's not going to...
I don't know. Could be a load of sugar in it. It tastes sweet, so it could be. I don't know. We'll
I don't think.
I'll have a look into it. It's probably not.
Yeah,
Got nothing to do with it, probably.
It, but yeah, no,
I'll check. But my Slimming World goal is yeah, again, drink more water because I need to drink more water, and £3 off. My life goal is to edit the videos a little bit more recent. But again, Fiverr might play into that. But my life goal this week is going to be to get the other 2 Choosey videos up, and for the other channel, there's some videos there that I want to make work as well. Salt makes our bodies hold water.
Yeah.
And I'm doing electrolytes every day, so maybe it is my salt content that's up. Mate, I tell you what, I'm going to not have... This will be the last of my electrolytes. I'm going to come off it.
I said as well.
This week.
Do you know what Lisa's been doing as well this week? She's been going, right, this is my dinner. And because I can only tell if things have got salt and other things in because of my taste buds. But Lisa's like, oh, I like a bit of pink salt, so I'll put some pink salt on my dinner. Do you remember?
I put pink salt on quite a bit.
Salt on my dinner. Maybe.
I like salt.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, if you just had a big glass of water and you put a spoon of pink salt in it and drank it, it helps you clear your system out. So,
but it also does make you hold more water.
Out. But it's meant to be like a good to clear your kidneys and stuff through, is it? So yeah.
No, you're supposed to not have the salt if you're clearing your kidneys. Just the water clears you through. I tell you what, that'll be my thing for this week. I will eat exactly the same as we do always.
Just not.
And I won't have my electrolytes or my added salt this week. See what happens. There you go. We'll see what happens.
So my skinny syrup, skinny sauces that I have, the sweet chili one is like I think you get like 300 mils or something in the 300 mils in the bottle, I think, or thereabouts, and 100 mils. Is it 100? Yeah, 100 mils of my sweet chili is 22 calories. So if I had a third of the bottle, if I wanted a third of the bottle, then it's like just over a sin. But I literally just put a squeeze over the top of my dinner.
You do.
And I don't feel like I need any extra salt and stuff on top of my dinner.
No, you do. You're doing really well with that.
Yeah.
But then, that's going to be it from us. So your goal, weight-wise, is just to stick to plan and see whatever happens. You're happy with whatever.
I'm still doing no bananas and that. I'm still eating loads of watermelon and blueberries and stuff.
And your life goal is learning more about the equipment stuff.
Yeah, to try so I can do some cooking videos to entertain people a little bit. Yeah.
To entertain them?
Yeah, to entertain them a bit. Show them, how to like cook things if you're not good at cooking things.
Are you entertaining then?
I might be a little bit. A little bit.
You entertain me. Yeah. You've entertained me for 10 years, love.
Well, if you watch the other video as well that we put up today, you'll see what happened this week. Well, last week, should I say. You'll see. So make sure you go watch it.
There is a moment.
There is.
That was entertaining.
I might have done a lot of cooking before, but there was a blip somewhere in the middle of it, so you have to go watch it.
Was it a glitch in your matrix?
It was.
A glitch in your matrix, yeah. So then, your goal, as I keep trying to say to wrap it up,
I know,
your goal is to stay on plan and do more technical, like not editing, but the filming side.
Yeah.
My goal is to get the editing done and another video up on the other channel, and to lose £3 by sticking to plan and also drinking more water that doesn't have salt in and using less salt.
And did you say that also soon we will be doing another giveaway?
Yeah.
Very soon. So
yes. So we are at 2,100, just shy of 2,100 subscribers. Yeah. When we get to 2,500, we will have a massive giveaway. So we're going to start getting things for that. The rate that we're going, we'll hit that within this year. So thank you all for subscribing. This will be the last video that we talk about our all the gender stuff. So if that's really off-putting for you, this will be the last one that we talk about that. But for everybody, or at least while this shit's going on, but for everybody that is here for all of our weight loss videos and more, we'll be back next Wednesday with more weight loss tips and tricks from Slimming World live at 6:30. Make sure you join us then. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. You watch until 6:30 your time, then you're driving the bus. Hope you have a great week. Have a lovely time, Kimberly. Kimberly's got a video uploaded, so
I don't know
we'll watch that
what the
shortly
difference
after.
of time is from where you are.
I don't know. Well, she's
Probably
going
like
off to
5 or
drive.
6 hours or so.
She's
is
going
it,
off
I
to
think?
drive the bus, so it's obviously school kicking out time.
Blimey.
I tell you what, we'll have to have a look and see in Alabama what time the schools kick out, and then we'll be able to we'll try and time it around you a little bit more as well. Not just around you, but around everybody on the thing. So then that's going to be it from us, everyone. Have a fantastic week. Hopefully we'll see less of you next week. In other words, you'll see less. Oh no, we should say it that way round. Hopefully you'll see less of us next week, because we'll be a lot skinnier.
I'll just turn sideways and disappear. So
you do. Whereas I turn sideways and I look like I'm 9 months pregnant with triplets. Oh, yeah. I know, right? It's fine.